Hello, friends. Today on Study Scripture Online, I want to take just a couple of minutes to chat with you about resisting sexual temptation. I will not take the time to cite statistics to prove how far our culture has fallen into sexual immorality, because any thinking Christian knows that the cesspool is overflowing. But how do we resist when temptation comes knocking on our door? Surely one of the greatest examples of godly resistance to sexual temptation is found in Genesis 39, where Joseph finds himself a household slave to a high government official in Egypt. Listen to the context. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." But he refused. And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. One day he went into the house to attend his duties, and none of the household servants was inside. She caught him by his cloak and said, "Come to bed with me." But he left his cloak in her hand and ran out of the house. The temptation Joseph experienced was powerful. What made it so? Well, for one thing, he had nearly every worldly rationalization at his disposal to succumb. Let me mention a few possible excuses that might have crossed his mind. 1. God allowed me to be sold into slavery. What do I owe him? 2. I've been separated from my family and friends for years. Who would find out? 3. I've been forced to adapt to a new culture which is thoroughly pagan. Everybody's doing it, so why shouldn't I? 4. I didn't go looking for trouble. She came on to me. But despite the intensity of the temptation, he refused to yield. I think the key is found in 4 facts. First, Joseph had a proper view of sin. He asked Potiphar's wife, "How could I do such a wicked thing?" He calls it what it is. Second, he had a proper view of God. He further said to Potiphar's wife, "How could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" He knew the 7th commandment against adultery. 3. He had a proper view of others. Joseph protested to Potiphar's wife, "With me in charge, my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife." And 4, Joseph had a proper view of himself. He knew his limitations. He didn't try to argue with her. He didn't try to preach at her. He didn't try to fight the temptation. He just fled. That's not a very courageous response to temptation, is it? But it's smart. Would you rather be a hero or be holy? For further exploration of this topic, click the link below, which will take you to a sermon entitled "When Temptation Comes In Like a Flood" from Genesis 39.